Good afternoon all. Welcome to Black Bull Markets, live from the trading floor in Auckland, New Zealand. Keen to do a very quick market update for you guys on the recent moves we're seeing in the pound. Now, the pound across the board have been spurred up of the, still news speculation over the recent EU discussions about Brexit going ahead, especially with EU Barnier, the leading Brexit negotiator, Michael Barnier, signaling further improvements in discussions between the EU and the UK. And off of the back of that, we're seeing markets really buoyed from that. Now, in this video, we're really going to digest what's actually been happening with Brexit negotiations, how much of it can be priced in, and what to expect in certain different scenarios. Now, talks between the European Union and Britain on Brexit are being conducted in what's called a good spirit of good cooperation. And that quote recently has really been the spur of these moves. Now, you're seeing a very sensitive beta here to the news and the bulls. It seems whenever there's some sort of upbeat mood coming from these negotiations, we're getting a pretty heavy buy up in cable. Remember, there's still no full agreement, and some Brexit rebels, as it were, or people against Theresa May's Conservative Party have threatened to vote down a deal if she clinches to one with the EU. So Barnier has also discussed that, and that is what people are really looking at to play out and to see how it does play out. Now, moving forward to a key date next year on March the 29th, Barnier has also discussed the matter of Gibraltar. Of course, it's a British territory disputed as of late with Spain. Although Gibraltar is not part of the EU customs union, businesses fear regulation of the border could become more rigid following Britain's exit from the EU. So Gibraltar is also one that's up in the air right now. Many business chiefs, investors, as it were, do fear the political atmosphere could really bring further uncertainty over the deals, thrusting both the EU and the UK into a no-deal zone, which is flatly perceived bad for the economy. However, moving to the reality, if we look at the chart of cable, we're testing these 7-week highs here, and in reality, we've pretty much dismissed all of August losses, and we've come right back up to the highs as of late around the 130,1648 level. So just mark that high on the chart. If you can see that blue line there marks the high that we've touched. And that high was, like I said, 7 weeks ago in August. The peak of that now has clawed back those losses. This week's also big item on the news agenda is the UK's release of August inflation numbers, which will be released Wednesday morning UK time. But of course, Brexit still remains the one on the agenda. Now, as I mentioned, all those losses from August have been pretty much reversed here. Last month, we did start off in a bit of a rocky manner, especially at the beginning of this month, but now we're seeing a bit of relief from that. Bulls are coming back into play, especially from the rate decision, and we had a sell-off of 10 consecutive days there, starting with that Bank of England Super Thursday rate decision on August the 2nd. However, we did see support hold recently, and through the second half of August, we did start to get this climb back up over here. Now, something has happened in the last month that's continuing to carry these overtones of the pound into September. And what we've seen is from the latter days of August, this bullish patterns continue. Now, if we look at the 4-hour chart here, we've got an interesting little channel forming from the August 13th spike, which was around here. We just draw this on the chart here. And the base of the channel, I mean, rather from this low here, swing low, if we bring it to this low, you actually see an interesting channel forming here, and this is what we're looking to potentially see the pair move in within this range. It's an interesting setup. I mean, what I'm really looking for is a move above this recent high of 131.648. Now, if I put a cloud system in, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about a bit more in depth. So if I switch it over to a daily, you can see that continuing, and you can see, if we get rid of these channel lines now, we can see that resistance there around that level, 133.579. So for me, we're really looking, if we can get past that 133.50 level, then the bulls could really take control of this trade, regardless of what's actually happening in the news. We're seeing a lot of bullish momentum in cable at the moment, and we could see it head up to the highs of 133.50. That's really what we're looking for, to get a good confirmation up here with a possible target up to 135. So 133.50 heading up to 135 long term, should the bullish nature around this trade continue. So keep your eyes peeled on cables. It's a key chart that we're looking at here. Also another one a lot closer to home, as it were, was pound Kiwi. Now, as you can see, the pound Kiwi for a good few years held a range between about the 198 mark, say, to the 186 at the low end, and it's pretty much been operating within that range. Now, recently we've seen a break to the upside, and it's crossed the 2 level for the first time in 2 years. As you can see here, there was a fall, I believe that was around Brexit, the week of Brexit, 19th of June 2016 there. And what we can see from this point, that fall really marked the beginning of this range-bound market forming in pound Kiwi. And ever since then, you really formed a congestion zone. Now, this is the weekly chart we're looking at. Pound Kiwi is really not one that moves too much out of this zone. However, recently we've seen a bit of an uproar, again spurred off more of cable strength, but also Kiwi weakness following the fall in Kiwi dollar to 2.5-year lows, again from tensions mounting on deriving from the trade tariffs on China, and of course Australia and New Zealand being both close trading partners. Fears are stemming from that for these crosses. So pound Kiwi is an interesting one to watch. It's crossed to a few times now in the last 24 hours or so. It's crossed it earlier today, but ever since we saw that, it's a 5-minute chart, we have seen a bit of a reversal from that top. If we go back to the 4-hour chart, I mean, the RSI is not really overbought, so there's still room potentially to move to the upside there. On the higher time frames, still moving. Some more upside potential on that trade with a target, perhaps around the 205 mark. If we raise our the 203 to the 205 mark, I'd say that's probably a target that the bulls may be looking for. So keep your eyes on that. Pound dollar, pound Kiwi. Of course, stay tuned to news around Brexit, as well as keeping track of future news this week for the UK in terms of the economic calendar. And as always, trade safer. Stay subscribed to these videos for more great episodes, and for any questions, please do let us know. All the best of luck with your trading.